Okay, greetings. Um, we're gonna talk about blood types, okay? I talked about blood types when I first started this video, but I have not really talked about blood types since. There is O+Blood around the world, all over the world, but it is 100% dominant in South America and in Central America, okay? And then it's about 60% dominant in the United States and in Canada, okay? But you have to understand, in Canada and up there at the United States border, Canada let so many different foreigners migrate into their country. I mean, like different black people migrating to the country. It's not even funny. Let me read some to you. Back then, maybe I wasn't able to read it as well and thorough as I was now. Okay. So let's read about A-blood. The A-blood allele is somewhat more common around the world than B. Of course, B is a third generation of blood in a sense. And that don't mean that it has to be 10 years or 20 years. It's just on down the line. About 21% of all people share the A allele. 21%. The highest frequency of A are found in small, unrelated populations, especially the Blackfoot Indians of Montana. 30 to 35%. Do you see that they brought a specific amount of A-blood people down to a damn state? Because states are actually countries. The Blackfoot Indians of Montana, the Australian Aborigines, many groups are 40 to 45%, 40 to 53%, and the Lapps and the Sami people of northern Scandinavia are 50 to 90%. The Lapps and Sami people of northern Scandinavia, 50 to 90%. This is A-blood now. The A allele apparently was absent. Listen, the A-blood was absent among Central and South Americans. Now digest this for a second. If you have A-blood, your bloodline was absent. Basically, from Central and South America. Our South America is our Africa. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look me dead in my face when I tell you this. Our South America is our Africa. It's about the equator. That's how it works. Anything below the equator is considered a different form of Africa. Okay? Our South America is our Africa. We are a different breed of black people. But what I came here to tell y'all is that after this video, I can't really too much talk about Americans and the O+Blood type anymore. The reason being is because I know my father is full 100% American Indian. The thing is, my mother is not really cooperating, and I have B blood. So me trying to get y'all on the right path will not benefit me in the long run. Yes, it will, but it's to the point now that as you look at this from a global standpoint, there's too much ignorance and stupidity taking over from the situation. Ancestry.com has set us back. These ancestor websites has set us back 100 more years. And what I mean by this is people are taking their ancestry. Listen. They're not taking their blood type. They're taking their ancestry. Ancestry. They call it ancestry because they're trying to migrate you where they want you to be. They don't want you to have no ties, no associations to America. See, we're at the point now where we're about to start waking up and we're about to start realizing who we truly are. So they had to come up with this new program and this new distraction to cause Americans to indefinitely tie themselves to Africa on a mental scale. Some people's heart may feel like they're from Africa, but what you fail to realize, you Pocahontas women, you are from South America. And once you realize you are from South America and that Northern America, where it's the coldest, became a melting pot for breeding. That's right, Canada and the United States became a melting pot for breeding. Central and South America is where you come from. So while you're going across some water, you might need to be heading south. If you notice, they do not promote South America and we're all on the same fucking continents. We're all in the same hemisphere. They do not promote. Listen, Olmecs, Indians, Mayans, people. They're not going to promote to you what will help conquer the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? They want you to get you as far from your roots as possible. They want you as far from your roots as possible. In America, there's every herb to heal you. I cannot explain this anymore. I'm B-blood. This is why I'm not even going to get into it no more. I am a B-blood. And like I say right now, my mom is not cooperating. My brother is B-blood. Okay? I need to find out what my oldest brother is. My grandmother is not cooperating with me. Okay? So just by me and my brother both being B-blood, I know my mother's a B-blood. I'm sure on my mother's side, I'm sure my grandfather is O+Blood, and I'm sure my grandmother is B-blood, but I need to see what my uncle is. My uncle is in the military, so I can see what his blood type is, and that'll let me know what's really going on. But my grandfather on my mother's side looks like a Afrocentric Mexican. That's right. He is a Muskogee Creek Indian, full-fledged. The thing about it is, my grandmother, I just got to figure some things out, okay? My father really helped me out. He know his blood type. Even my stepfather. These look like two totally different people. My stepfather, ex-stepfather, has Olmec hairline. That's right. My ex-stepfather has an Olmec hairline. And he's O+Blood. And he has 2 rows of teeth at top and bottom. And my mom always complain and say, why he didn't pull his teeth? I say, Mom, believe it or not, This man is more indigenous than you think to America. He cannot help it why he has 2 rows of teeth. He just that motherfucking ancient. Okay? And you can't see his 2 rows of teeth. Only when he goes to the dentist, you know he got 2 rows of teeth. Not in the front, but around the back. And they're not crooked or nothing. It was like his jaw was designed for 2 rows of teeth. And it's a long story. It's a long story. And he has an Olmec hairline and everything. Dark, very dark. You would have thought that he came from Africa, but you know he has an Indian nose. Like 100% O+Blood. He's the total opposite of my father. My father is like a dark brown with curly hair. They're both O+Blood. And my father looks like one of those, I mean my stepfather, he raised me, my stepfather raised me. He looks like a Olmec head. And they both have O+Blood. So it's just something to think about. Okay? So let's me get back to it. This is why I'm not going to go through this no more unless I find something very important. I'm not going to discuss blood types no more because I'm going to have to get my grandmother and I'm going to have to get my mother to go on and shed the light on me a little more. And I got to get these pictures so y'all can see the mulatto-ness of my family and also the pitch blackness of my family, the Nubian-ness of my family. Okay? So I read A+Blood. A+Blood is it's in Australia, it's in Eastern Europe, and it's in Northern America. Northern America, like Canada. Okay? Okay, the O+Blood type usually resulting from the absence of both A and B alleles is very common around the world. About 63% of humans share it. Type O is particularly high in frequency among the indigenous populations of Central and South America. Central and South America, where it approaches 100%. These people made it so you cannot go back home. United States is not fruitful. You understand what I'm saying? The United States is not naturally fruitful. Central and South America is naturally fruitful, just like Africa. Africa is naturally fruitful, right? Just like Central and South America. That's just like the Bible. They're not going to hand you a book that's going to have you overpower the planet. They're going to hand you a book to suppress you. That's just like when it comes down to the migration weapon. The migration weapon is not going to send you to South America. Why? Let me ask you something. Why do you think that they split America up with 4 different languages? Canadians are French. United States is English. Central America is Spanish. And South America speaks Portuguese. 4 different languages. Why do you think they switched us up? It's something to really think about. Another thing, they talk about slaves were in Haiti, slaves were in Jamaica, right? But let me ask you something. Who was on the land before the slaves got there? The land was empty. They just dropped out some slaves and start telling them to dig up gold and plant sugar cane. Who was there? That's just like Dominican Republic besides Haiti. And it's a split line. Who was there? That's just like Cuba. Who was there? They were not white people. They were not even light-skinned people. That's just like Puerto Rico. Who was there? These white Puerto Ricans you see today are hybrid. They're mixed. That's why I stress the fact that they played y'all with this ancestry, and y'all, it's just like the Bible. You want to learn spirituality, but you use the Bible to reference your beliefs. It's like you learn something new, but then you reflect on the Bible to see if it's real. I'm a hippie gang. Just like Ancestry.com. They pick the most reserved people that are not Indian, that look like they set this up for a reason. They migrated these, they pushed these people in a zone for a reason. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. They use a small group of people of like 1,000 people and said, we're going to make these Indians of America, and we're going to tie everybody else back to Africa. Listen now. Listen now. This is just like that Bible book. You learning something new about yourself, but you have to refer back to the Bible. That's just like you're learning something new about yourself, but you have to reflect back to Ancestry.com. Right? Just like these New Age witches and voodoo people and stuff. Let me tell you something. Because they practice certain metaphysical science, they think it all, they tie. Because their arts, what they practice, is from these regions of the world. They think they from them regions of the world, but you don't know you are a Pocahontas. Okay? You're definitely a Pocahontas. O+Blood is 100% in South America and in Central America. The old Mexicans, I mean the old Mexicans, not these red-skinned Mexicans. I'm talking about the Nubian Negroid Mexicans. You better realize who you are, because they about to send you in the biggest trap ever. Ghana just opened up their doors for Americans. Wait a minute. Ghana just had problems with the United States, wondering why their military could not be over there. There's a brother on YouTube who already said, Americans, before you go to Africa, you need your own military. Because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You have no clue what you're getting yourself into. And the reason why I say this, there's so many people from other countries who want to be Americans. You either see America from a good perspective, or you see America from a bad perspective. That's right. You either see America from a good perspective or you see America from a bad perspective. And a lot of people want that American dream. Why you think the first thing they do is create film over there to program you, right? One dude in Nigeria was walking down the street and said, this place will never be the same again. It's all about being a movie star now. Everybody in their home watching videos and on their cell phones, trying to create art, trying to create music, trying to get in the trend world, trying to become a millionaire. It will never be the same again. For real. What I'm trying to explain to you is they're not going to give you a book that teaches you who you are. You have to know from within. Let's say if all the Americans, us Indians, say, you know what, we're not going to go to Africa, we're going to go to South America. We're going to go to Central America. You're going to see some fucking hyenas show up. You're going to see a part of these people that you never thought to see before. From birth, in school, they programmed you with Egypt, when in fact your strong pyramids are in America. We already said black populated the whole world. So why do you have to migrate to Africa? Blackness populated the whole world. So why is it that you have to go to Africa? Just like America, right? American. Look how big America is. You got Northern America, Central America, and Southern America. And they only use one blood type, one little group of people, somewhere over there by Arizona, to claim United States blood. That's just like, let me tell you something, that's just like that man insulted those people down there in the Amazon. Let me tell you what he said in that old video. He seen the Africans closer to the ocean. What I mean, the African phenotype. And I bet you say, look, you just said it, fuck that. He seen the African phenotype. These people did not have C4 hair beaded to their scalp. No, they had more of a curly hair, like these women with the hair that say, oh, my mama say I'm mixed with Indian. That type of hair texture. When he seen these people with the African phenotype, he said, no, not these Africans. I'm looking for the real Indians. So these people with the Nubian skin that resemble African phenotype, he took them into the people with the African phenotype, took them into the jungle. I'm not saying they have African phenotype. I am saying that they resemble the African phenotype, but their hair texture is nothing like an African. Okay? Nothing like Ghanaians, nothing like Nigerians. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing of the such. They had silky curly hair, and they had Nubian skin, and they like to be by the water. That's right, they love being by the water. These people took this white man into the jungle to find these long-haired Mongolian people in the rainforest, in the Amazon. Now, why did he do that? Why did he do that? Because when he first seen that pure blackness, he just automatically said, oh no, I'm not looking for the Africans. I'm looking for the indigenous natives of the Amazon. The Amazon comes in many shades. Just people with that Nubian genetic, where their melanin touches the surface of their skin, they do better in sunlight. They thrive better in sunlight. So sunny areas of the world, they gonna populate. They're not gonna hide in the tropics. Why they're not gonna hide in the tropics? Because they have richer frequency, so they need more sunlight. If you're actually in the Amazon, you're not gonna get all the sunlight you need. You're not. So if you are Mongolian and you migrated from somewhere else, you technically don't want to be in the sun. Do you get what I'm saying? But understand this. Even though this man, when he seen that Nubian color skin, that blackness, when he seen it, the first thing he said, no, I'm not looking for the Africans. I'm looking for the Indians, the indigenous Indians. That's an insult. Because there's more than one tribe on every single landmass. That's just like you go to Russia. Russia had black people. Asia had black people. You think America didn't have black people? They all came from Africa? They already told you that Central and South America is 100% O+Blood. They told you that. It's in the statistics. Central and South America, where it approaches 100%. Type O is particularly high in frequency among the indigenous populations of Central and South America, where it approaches 100%. So that man that claimed he seen Africans as soon as he got off his boat and stepped onto the land, meaning from the ocean, Why you think they don't want us by the ocean? Why you think they got the white people buying up the ocean fronts all around America? We are ocean people. You know what? Like I say, I got some more things to deal with right now. You can use Ancestry.com as your source. But why hasn't Ancestry.com compared to your blood? First of all, if you're O+Blood, look no further. If you A+Blood, you might be a bit suspect. You might need to start looking. B+Blood like me, I need to start looking. B+Blood is Western Europe, Central Asia, Himalayan area. That's why when I started getting on that pink Himalayan salt, I never went back to too much sea salt. It was like as soon as I take Himalayan salt, all the water comes out of my body just like eating sea moss. The same way the sea moss removes all the water from the body and all the mucus from the body, the same way when I eat Himalayan salt, it does the same thing to my body. Okay? So yeah, Ancestry.com did not compare your blood to Central and South Americans. They compared your blood to the lost Americans in Africa. That's right. To the lost Americans in Africa. And another thing, you look at me, We didn't mate with no white people. Do you know how many people look like me? We didn't mate with no white people. So why do we have this skin color? You need to really think about that. I'm gonna hip you to something else. To all the Afrocentric, and see, that's another thing, because we call our hair an afro, it's throwing us off. Afro-African. Afro-African. See, we're gonna have to let that word go too. The word afro. Because you don't see Africans rocking afros. That's another thing that threw us off from our culture. Talking about a fucking afro. When in fact, people with my hair type used to put some type of oil or wax on their hair. Straight hair was not the only hair in the United States. It was not. There was kinky hair here before there became European settlers on this continent, period. There was hair like mine on this continent before that. Not only that, okay, I'm a B-blood, right? Do you see any Western Europeans or Central Asians that look like me? Something to really think about. Do you see any Central Asians that look like me? Do you see any Western Europeans that look like me? What the fuck is Western Europe? Unless they completely did genocide. But the United States did not completely do genocide. Hollywood programmed you. That's right. Hollywood programmed you. What Indian of the United States is, so you don't remember who you are. School programmed you. And you know what's funny? The school never talked about Egyptians being black. Do you see those new age Egyptians over there that they migrated there, that they pushed there? Do you see them? Just like Saudi Arabia and Persia and all that. Man, let me tell you something. Y'all should go where you want to go on your own. Don't fall for the deception. Ancestry.com is just like the Bible. It's gonna deviate you off your path. Why didn't they compare your blood type? You O+Blood people that use them ancestry websites. Why didn't they compare you to South American, Amazonians, and Hondurans, and Panamanians? Why they didn't compare you to them? Why they didn't compare you to Belize blood? Why they didn't compare you to Mexican blood? Those skeletons with the long elongated heads, why they didn't compare you to that blood type? I'm sorry. This is my last video until I come up with some more evidence other than what's already real, naturally pure. You need to go check out South America and Central America. I mean the bottom of Central America. Not this, I'm talking about the Honduran, the El Salvadorian, all that area. Yeah, in South America. Yucatan. Okay? You think deception hit you in these last 400 years. Wait till you go back across that water. Deception ain't hit you yet. You about to get a real, thoroughbred reality check. And the evil eye, let me tell you something. You ain't met the evil eye yet, but you about to meet the evil eye. Okay? You about to meet the evil eye. I'm going to explain what the evil eye is, and then I'm going to let this go. The evil eye, have you ever walked into a Chinese grocery store or Indian grocery store or Arabian grocery, just another culture? Have you ever walked in their store and they look at you, they don't smile at you, they don't greet you, and they have this evil sense like, I can't believe this nigga in my store? And you be like, hi, and you smile, and they still don't greet you. They just look at you with disrespect, and and you have to ignore it. That's right. Have you noticed when I talk about something that's really real, I end up coughing? You have to ignore it. And the reason why is because you want the produce that they sell, because your own black people that remind you of you, your own indigenous bloodline, they're not selling the product. They're not selling the fruits and vegetables that you want, that you desire. So you have to go in these stores and they look at you with disgrace, dishonor. I'm just being real. And the reason is, I remember one time, you know, they don't have food taxes in Florida unless you get hot food, okay? And I was in this store, the man had some fresh pita bread, and these people weren't buying nothing, they was just checking out his store. And I'm at the register with my money. He's still talking to the guy. And see, I wasn't thinking about it. I should have just set the money on the counter and walked off with my bread. So I'm sitting here. He talked to the man like 2 extra minutes when he could have just served his customer and let me go on about my business. You already see it. It was halals. You already see I'm in a store that don't resemble me. I just want my fresh pita bread. And this man probably ain't even about to buy nothing. You get what I'm saying? He just trying to learn the area. Handle your customer first. That's like me. If I'm somewhere, I'm not about to have no full-fledged conversation with somebody, and this person literally got their money out and just want to purchase their food. But the next time I go in there, if he talking to somebody, I'm going to set the money on the counter and I'm going to walk off with my bread. I'm going to say, look, and go. Because he basically was trying to show me that I need to wait my turn. But what I should have did, it took about 50-60 seconds for him to finally put my stuff in the bag and ring it up. Like, they were literally talking about nothing. You could tell his wife didn't want anything. His wife didn't even have a little buggy, like a little basket. She was just walking around picking up stuff, looking on the shelf. Picking up stuff, looking on the shelf. They didn't want nothing. They didn't want to buy nothing. So my reaction, I should have just put the bread back on the shelf and walked out the store. That's why I looked him dead in his face. That's why he stopped talking. I'm like, look, you can continue to talk to this dude. It seems he needs you. But right now you have a customer. He's not a customer until he buys something. Until he comes to this register with product. He's not a customer. So, yeah, it was like he wanted to prove to me that he was going to make me wait. But I made it ever so clearly that I was not about to wait until you have a full conversation with these people to hand you $3. Okay? Okay. Like I say, this is basically it. I'm sorry if Ancestry.com created more deception within your programming. I'm sorry that you got programmed that Egypt is where you belong, Africa is where you belong, you O+Blood people that are 100% American. No matter your grade of skin tone, no matter your grade of hair. I'm sorry. You fell for the deception. It's an insult to see foreigners create an ancestry site and completely 100% deviate you off of your rights and heritage to where you belong. That's right. How many of you are O+Blood? How many of you are O+Blood? They already said Central and South America is 100% O+Blood. But you continue. Yes, you continue to seek elsewhere. Go back to South America. South America is undisturbed. Central America, the South End, Honduras and all that, is undisturbed. Okay? Go to the Yucatan. And don't let the Mexican phenotype distract you. And that's another thing I wanted to say. You O+Blood, Afrocentric looking people, you can even sleep with a Mexican and it'll be fine. Especially if they have O+Blood. And they do. The Nubian skin tones, the red skin tones, Mexican has Nubian bloodlines. Nubian means that the melanin is so pure black that it's not even funny. There's another dude on my Instagram. He does acting, martial art acting. He B-blood just like me. We're the same exact people. And when we was at this party, we just resonated. And we just hung out with each other. And I said, what's your blood type? He said, I'm B-blood. I said, I am too. And look, you know who you are. If Africans aren't calling for you, that's where you belong. O+Blood or not, that's where you belong. But I'm just sorry that it's engraved in you since childhood. I'm sorry to tell you, it's engraved in you since childhood that you are African. They gave you this prestigious Egypt and this Africa from childhood, and it's just been engraved in you since childhood. And I'm sorry, it's gonna take a lot to remove it from your DNA now that it's been engraved in you. They put the spell on you. They put the spell on you at childhood. Egypt, Africa. When you read those books, those social studies books, they put the spell on you then. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. There you have it. Unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free.